What is up, guys? It's Snoo. I'm here. Long-time Path of Exile 1 enjoyer and content creator. I figured I need to come out with a video sharing what's going on with me and the future of the channel, my content creation for PoE2. There's definitely going to be a lot of it. And guys, I got to say right out the gate, this is not just your run-of-the-mill, oh hey, another ARPG is coming out. Let's make a little bit of content for it and see how it goes. You know, we just plan to go right back to the old game, the nice, tried and true, comfortable zone that I've been doing Path of Exile 1 content for a few years now. No, this is a new game from the same company. The first time to make a new game, it's the same type of game, it's just an evolved form of that. This is different, guys. This is going to be absolutely a transition, likely to be a major transition in terms of content, not just going to be going right back to PoE 1. Will I go back to PoE 1? I don't know, probably, but I'm definitely going to be taking Path of Exile 2 early access content creation as serious, if not more serious, than I typically take a PoE 1 league start, shall we say. What does that mean? Yes, it means I'm going to be streaming a lot, almost every day, a lot for each day. I'm going to be coming out with different cool tech things that I find if I can get my hands on that. It's going to be so many unknowns right now. I can't really anticipate fully what kind of videos they're going to be. Certainly something along the lines of build guides, build showcases, currency guides, tips, tricks, different things going on. I'll probably stay away from news or drama type stuff like I usually do and just kind of focus on becoming as highly informative as I can. And those of you who like seeing that kind of content are going to definitely want to tune in. Those of you excited for PoE2, well, this is going to be a good time to keep watching my content because I'm going to be coming out with a lot of different stuff. There are basically 3 different aspects that got me particularly excited for this game. And it's by design that I have in the background some endgame footage from the live reveal. Now, I did play the game a little bit in ExileCon and the Tokyo Game Show. It was a very, very confined window into what the game was like. It really didn't paint a good picture, and I've been waiting and waiting and waiting to get a better understanding about what the game's actually going to be like at the parts where, I sink in countless amounts of hours, the end game, basically. So many of you who watch this content are going to feel the same way about that. And now we have a decent idea about what it's like. As you can see from the footage in the background, it doesn't look incredibly fast, but there's hints of what is possible, and we get to get an idea about what the league mechanics are going to be like, and we get a sense of what the endgame progression is going to look like. And that is one major thing I'm excited for. The endgame progression through the Atlas, that a Delve-inspired infinite Atlas with infinite possibilities, is a far cry from, shall we say, the Crimson Prison of old with the apothecary farming and how you kind of had to mold whatever strategy you were doing into that because that was invariably the best thing to do. I'm looking forward to something where you don't even really know what kind of maps or what kind of atlas you're going to have. You just kind of have to go with the flow. You're going to have to work with that. And it's going to add so many cool variables. There's definitely going to be more layers of RNG. I think we're going to have a little bit less player agency about the, repeatable end game loop about how we play, but it's something we'll have to work with and figure out. It's really exciting. And I'm all for it. I'm all for a little bit of a change in that sense. Very excited for that. Maybe I want to do Delirium, or maybe I want to do Expedition, but perhaps my Atlas kind of pushes me in a direction that goes a little bit off from that, but gives me great opportunities in something else. And guys, that's going to take a while to figure all that out. I'm looking forward to that. The whole tower system, essentially the Sextans 2.0 system that there is. You can still roll the maps. We're going to be progressing our gear. And I actually kind of like the fact that the game has been simplified a great deal in terms of crafting. I know people who love the wide variety of different ways to craft may not be so excited for the game, but it will build on that. And so certain aspects of the game much simpler, particularly like gearing, crafting, things like that are going to be a lot simpler than they have been in the recent past. But other things like the endgame loop might have way more complexity, which is really interesting considering I want the game to be more new player friendly. There's give and take in both different things. But I care more about the endgame loop and making it interesting, spicing it up a little bit. And I would say, given that, I'm super excited about what's going on. We got 4 different major mechanics. We got an Atlas that progresses seemingly forever, and then we got 2 other endgame systems through the 2 different types of lab replacement, if you will, the Ultimatum and the Sanctum side. So it's going to be really cool to see how all that works. Another thing I'm super excited for is the builds. how many new Ascendancies are we getting this time? I mean, just last time I got to experience a brand new Ascendancy, which is something very rarely seen. You know, one brand new Ascendancy every great once in a while is what we'll get. Or maybe, you know, as an Ascendancy revamp. No, I think most of the Ascendancies are like really brand new with not a whole lot recycled through. We got the Chronomancer, we got Blood Mage, we got Monks with 2 different crazy Ascendancies. Ironically, the one class that didn't seem to get revamped much is Ranger, the one that I almost always play. And maybe for that reason, maybe for not, my intention is not to play the Ranger, as a matter of fact, and not to play the Mercenary either. I'm not necessarily going to do a bow build. I'm actually probably going to start with Monk or something related to that, because this might be a story many of you don't know, but back when, before I played PoE, when I was still playing ARPGs, which I've been playing for a couple decades now, Diablo 2 was really popular, and then Diablo 3 came out, and there was a new class called the Monk then, and in sort of testing or beta look at it, looked incredibly, it was just absolutely, it just blew my mind. The combat was next level for that sort of thing. This idea that you're going to build combos and, you know, crush your enemies when you spend all the combo stuff, really cool concept to me, and I wanted to get into that. But unfortunately, well, for numerous reasons, Diablo 3 let me down a little bit in that sense, and the Monk was not nearly as methodical or interesting of a class as what I was hoping it would be. I can already tell, just from the setup, just from seeing limited information on skill gems, keystones, ascendancy points, that the Monk especially, actually all classes seem to have this whole idea of like building your skill setup, prepping, you know, the environment so that you do maximizing damage with not just one button or 0 buttons, with actually a few different buttons, a little bit of methodology around your attacking, which is something not everybody goes for, I understand, but that is absolutely my cup of tea, especially after, you know, just the zoom, brainless grinding flow state that is PoE 1 Endgame currently. I would like to see a little bit more thought process go into what I'm making the build for, the kind of strategizing, the maneuvering around on the field, and, you know, not just dodging after death mechanics, okay, not just that, but like actually a little bit of brain power went into that. I still think, you know, it could be a lot of fun to do for hours on end, and what I'm seeing, it's gonna be pretty cool. I don't know exactly what Ascendancy I'm gonna play, but I'm very excited for something, perhaps the Monk, and that's the one I'm leaning towards right now. We'll have to wait and see. Don't hold me to it, but whatever it is, it's gonna be cool, no doubt. The gameplay is gonna be different, and I'm ready for a shake-up in that sense. Now, the third thing I'm really excited for is the weapon swap system. How many of you know that yours truly loves the weapon swap tech in PoE 1? I've worked on that quite a few different times. There was a ghosting thing, and then there was like the abyssal tunneler farming of Affliction League to try and get the Spire, but keep it alive, but keep myself alive, and then kill everything. Many of you may not know what I'm talking about, but anyway, I've always loved the idea of weapon swap and then building tech out of that, and then kind of using that to your advantage, either to get around the field more or to do more damage, or some sort of, you know, utility out of that. It looks like we're going to have more creativity on that front than ever before. It's gonna be unbelievable, the kind of different things. In fact, I'm going to devote an entire video to that in the near future. I'm going to drop a video about weapon swap techs and things you might want to think about prior to the launch, about how you might want to go about that. Obviously, we get the whole 10 different ascendancy points in either direction for the weapons, which is, I mean, just the possibilities are nearly endless on that. Imagine getting different keystones for different weapon swaps to do different things, you know, not just like running fast. It's not just like swap your weapon so you can run faster with that setup. Nah, it's going to be wild. It's going to be absolutely crazy. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to add even more layers of depth and complexity to builds that at least strive to take on the challenge of, you know, pressing a few buttons and figuring all that works together. It's going to be plenty of opportunity to automate things. They'll come at a cost with reservation, which I think is a really cool middle ground compromise struck there. Like the whole like cast on crit stuff, it forces you to reserve spirit as opposed to auras. Great way to compromise on this, I think. So there's going to be so many different ways to build a character, and I'm just going to love doing all that. So expect many weapon swap tech videos from me in the near future. and we'll come out with one before the release about, you know, kind of where my head's at on that. So guys, that's basically it. My plans are to play PoE2, to play it similarly to what I would do at a League launch, except, you know, soak in the lore on the first playthrough, not take it too seriously. I'm not rushing to beat the game before everyone else or anything like that. I'm not trying to make, you know, infinite amount of currency right off the bat. I want to enjoy the game authentically. We're going to go into relatively blind. There's going to be no PoE2 prior to early access, probably. And yeah, so for those of you wanting to play the game, I believe it's $30. There's a particular $30 set that you have to go and buy from the website, or if you spent $480 in the lifetime of your account, you'll automatically be gifted a key in that sense. And so I know some of you will have already passed that checkpoint anyway. Look into the PoE2 website. There's an official new website for that now to get more details on that. But anyway, that's it for me on this video. Look forward to it, guys. It's going to be fun. Let me know what you think. If you're excited for PoE2, I'm especially curious from those of you who have been leaning against the idea of playing PoE2, like you're kind of really grounded, dead set on PoE1, maybe even hoping that PoE1 retains its crown jewel status over PoE2. But those of you who saw the live reveal, who might have had your minds changed or shifted a little bit, what did you think of the live reveal? Did it make you change your mind, or did it lean you ever so more in the direction of wanting to play PoE2? I'd be curious to hear, especially from those of you who fit that category, for which many in my community do. All right, guys, that's it for this video. You might notice a slight change in some coloring and icons from this channel. Well, it's a new chapter. We're going to finally do away with that elementalist icon. I've been putting it off for way too long and kind of got sunk into, well, you know, never a great idea to change your brand or whatever. No, I've been meaning to change that forever. I'm not playing an elementalist anymore. I stopped doing that back in 3.15. What am I doing? Why do I still have an elementalist icon? I don't know. But anyway, changing it to something a little bit more universal. Hopefully you like it. And yeah, we got a Discord, and I got it all set up for nice PoE2 channels. You can check out the Discord if you want. And this will be one of the few times when I suggest for you to subscribe, ring the bell, and do all that stuff. If you're curious and interested in seeing more PoE2 content, you're going to get that from me for sure. A lot of great stuff coming out in the future. Some things I can't even foresee yet. Let's look forward to it together. I'll see you guys in the next video.